Okay. Again, so just to recap, all those things where diagonal, opposite sides are congruent and parallel, consecutive sides are 180. Opposite angles are congruent. For B, again, we would have 90 degrees here, and these diagonals would be congruent. Opposite sides would also be congruent and parallel. And then that actually answers C as well. These diagonals would be congruent if it's a rectangle. So now this is something that is not in your foldable. You're going to have to add this into your companion. If the diagonals of a parallelogram are perpendicular, then the parallelogram is a rhombus. That's something you want to write down. If the diagonals of a parallelogram are perpendicular, then the parallelogram is a rhombus. Does that also mean it can be a square? Yes. Can it be a rectangle? No. A square, remember, has all that genetic material from grandmama parallelogram and mom and dad rhombus and rectangle. Huh? And daddy trapezoid somewhere in the mix, yeah. At least that's what we're speculating. Parallelogram is never confirmed. Anyway, so if those diagonals are perpendicular, then it is automatically a rhombus, okay? Which could also incorporate the square. Anybody still writing this down? Okay, so if angle JHK and angle JGK are complementary, what else can you conclude about GHJK? So they're saying that everything disappears. Okay. They're saying that GHK, so I'm sorry, J to H to K and J to G to K, J to G to K. So they're saying this and this are complementary. They're not congruent, they're just complementary. What else can you conclude about this quadrilateral GHJK? God. It's a rhombus. Yep. There's a lot of simple answers here because it's just identifying rules. I'm not gonna lie. There's not a lot of like math. No algebra in this one. It's just more, hey, what is this shape? Okay. Questions on this? All right. This is the next one you're gonna run, right? All right, so this is the other thing. If a diagonal of a parallelogram bisects two angles of a parallelogram, then the parallelogram is in fact a rhombus. Okay, again, talking about the diagonal, you're going to want to write that down. If a diagonal of a parallelogram bisects two angles of a parallelogram, then it is a rhombus. And remember, square counts too, because square is a rhombus. It's got that family history.
It would have been ironic.
You know somebody at Platteville?
No, I don't know. Oh wait, yeah, no, my cousin. She gave the sweatshirt to me because she ordered one and I gave her like one, and it was like a size. No.
My cousin goes there too. She plays softball.
No, she was soccer, but like basketball. She did
Yeah, Caitlin got a full ride there. She's super smart, super athletic, loves softball. All right, anybody still writing this down? All right. All right, so try number 3. If the diagonals of any quadrilateral are congruent, is the quadrilateral a rectangle? Justify your answer. What do you guys think? If the quadrilaterals are congruent, is the quadrilateral a rectangle? Yes. How do we know? Okay, that's one of the rules for a rectangle. Anything else? It's not the rules of anything else. We're just doing process of elimination. No, actually. If it is any quadrilateral, then it could be an isosceles trapezoid also. Because remember, isosceles trapezoids, do they also have congruent diagonals? They do. So the term here is any quadrilateral. It is a rectangle is the only quadrilateral that has congruent diagonals. No, isosceles trapezoids do as well. Trick question, aren't they? All right, questions on that one? Anybody still writing this down? Okay. Next rule you're going to want to write down, if the diagonals of a parallelogram are congruent, then the parallelogram is a rectangle. This is all about diagonals, guys. This is going to help you a lot.
Oh no, they have opposite curve.
Is there anybody that's not going to be here during final exams that you're aware of? Just checking. Okay. Sorry, guys. I forgot. What? Then you get Fs until you make them up in January. Legit. We put a 0 in, and that's that. Same process. No, it's just the same process. What happens is like, let's say you miss because you're sick or whatever, or a family emergency. You get a 0 until you take it. And then your grade changes second semester. Then it's still 0. I don't know what to tell you. It doesn't matter. Make up an excuse. Family emergency, I'm sick, what have you. It's the same procedure. I think the only difference is homebound, but even then they get their percentage and then a 0 until they make up all the work. So this is the process. All right, anybody still writing this? All right. All right, number 4. Can you conclude whether each parallelogram is a rhombus, a square, or a rectangle? Let's take a look at this. All right, so the parallelogram ABCD. These two are congruent by side angle side. These two angles are congruent by CPCTC. So can we identify what type of parallelogram this is? Good job. It's a rhombus. Yeah. Oh, you took a little overhead. I'm sorry, one more time? Yeah. All right, letter B. Parallelogram PQRS. Diagonals are perpendicular. All right. So you definitely have a rhombus here. Diagonals are congruent. So it's a rectangle. So what do we have here? Rhombus, square, or rectangle? Square. The abomination returns. Okay, so remember that the square embodies the properties of a rectangle, a rhombus, and a parallelogram, right? So a square can be a rectangle, but a rectangle is not necessarily a square. It's okay. We'll talk more. But we remember we talked about that yesterday when I was talking about the sometimes, always, never. That's sometimes, yes. Sometimes a rectangle is sometimes a square is a rectangle, and sometimes. But a rectangle is not always a square. All right. All right. I don't think it's page 15, but to go to example 4 in your book, what is it? Page 159. I'm gonna fix that right now. So it says, why don't you give these a shot real quick, and then I'll show you the answers. We'll do a big reveal. Well, maybe not a big reveal, but a reveal nonetheless. Yeah. Yes. I don't know. I have everything set up now, so they're gonna come around and judge, I guess. I don't know.
Saucer?
Okay. All right, letter A. What do we got? What is it? A rhombus, a square, or a rectangle? Who could tell me? A rhombus, a square, or a rectangle? Letter A. Rectangle. How about B? Nice. Are we understanding this whole idea? But it's it to be a square. No? Okay, moving on. Try it number 5. We're going straight into the workbook. Hey, the only algebra one you got tonight. In parallelogram ABCD, AC is 3W minus 1. BD is 2 times the quantity W plus 6. What must be true for ABC to be a rectangle? So what you're probably going to want to do is like draw this out and label the points.
Is AC like the diagonal?
Yes, that's why you should draw it and label the points.
You would because anxious. So such a silly little boy getting back. You can tell like took your back and pushed it down on the chair so I like those.
Oh, you don't like that?
What the heck is a bead? All right, how are we doing? So what needs to be true for this to work out? Go ahead. W has to be 13. Very good, because the diagonals have to be congruent. All right, take a look at example 6. Is MNPQ a rhombus? Explain. How do we know? What do you think, Yash?
The diagonals bisect each other and the diagonal bisects the
Okay. So diagonals bisect, not just the angles, but the lines as well, the diagonals as well. They bisect each other.
Oh.
And they're, well, we don't know about perpendicular. They're not telling us that.
We could, because we have 32 and 58.
Oh, good. Yeah, good catch. Good catch. You 32 and 58, that adds up to 90. That's right. Good job. Good job. Good catch. So we do have perpendicular lines. You're right. Guys, that's it. So what I want you guys to do right now is I want you to work on how do you know 5 through 10. Give it a shot. I'm going to call some people up, I think. No, actually, I'll do a big reveal. We're fine. I'll do a big reveal. This way you guys can get going on your homework and hopefully have no homework this weekend. There is, yeah. I don't have it posted yet, but it's coming. It's working again. Yay. You say, what? Shucks? You don't like it? Delta Math's easier. But Delta Math for geometry, it's good for algebra. It's good for algebra too. Don't worry about that. It's perfect for those. Geometry, it's not so great. It's getting better, but it's not quite there yet.
That's the most basic. Aren't they all just squares? If the angles are over 45. Oh, they're different. They're different. So it's rectangle. No. What is the rhombus? Because if it was a rectangle, yeah. Actually, it's not. Number 8. 7 is number 8. Wait, no, it's not. It's a rhombus? Oh. No, but they might be right, yeah. I know, but you can prove that with, because the triangle the rectangle's actually, yeah. I mean, the triangle. These all. How do you know? CTCTC. Yeah, look. This triangle is not
side, angle, side. These triangles.
No. What do you mean? Look. You only have one side on this triangle. So you can't do that. It would be, for this side, it would be side, angle, side. But for this side, it would be angle, side, angle. You can't do that. So they're not.
Oh, no, then angle, side, angle here, too.
Okay, fine. Now we do angle, side, angle.
So that doesn't make sense. How are the sides? That would mean this side's opposite. So how would they sides do the same thing? It's just real.
Yeah, it's not possible. But it's a rectangle. We're thinking too much.
It's a rhombus.
How is it wrong?
Because one of them has to be wrong.
Yeah.
Because one of them has to be wrong.
Yeah.
Good. I think E.
The last one.
I ran out of batteries.
So then 7 is
Wait, no, 8 would be like.
Wait. Because these are diagonal. When they're diagonal, it's always a rectangle. Unless it's not sausage trapped. That's what she said. Well, yeah, I know. And it's obviously not that.
It could be a square, rectangle, or round.
Number 8?
25 minutes.
What are you yapping about? Where do you see 29? Where do you see that? Number 7 is a square?
Well, I'm going to get at it.
I'm not sending it. I'm putting rectangle.
It's not a square.
These angles are different. It's just, that can't be a square.
I know,
By the definition of a
I know.
square. What do you mean we don't really do If these were congruent to this, they would also only have one.
I know, but I don't understand. These sides are equal. These sides are congruent. No, we do line every other or I'm right.
How did you split the angles of this?
The angles aren't different.
Then we'd have like 8 squares. I don't. Wait. Is the first one even a square? Let's see. It's not. The first one's gotta be rectangle. And then this one's also.
How we doing, guys? Who's still working out 5 through 10?
7 could be.
Anybody still working out 5 through 10?
Oh yeah.
All right. Show of hands. What's number 5?
Rectangle. 7 is square.
Oops. It is a rectangle. How about 6? Square. How about 7?
Rhombus, square.
Ooh, it's a rhombus. The main thing here, guys, is if you look at these two congruency marks, these are different angles. So that's why it's not a square.
Isn't it? No. If the sides are the same, doesn't that also mean the angles are the same? What? Because the isosceles. Who said it's isosceles? No, the sides say it's isosceles.
Oh, well, okay. You're okay. I understand. Yes, I understand that. The issue is that they're trying to just get you to look at the markings. Does that make sense? When we trust the math, not the picture. I know, I get it, but
The congruence lines are different. He said no, they could just be using different ones for the same measure.
they usually don't.
It's because the lines are the same, and that means it's isosceles.
How about 8? 8? What are we thinking? Square? Rectangle.
I said rectangle for 8.
We have, here's what we do not have confirmation of for it to be a square. We do not have the side lengths. We do not have right angles here. We have no other confirmation. So the only thing we can go to is rectangle. If they had more information, maybe. You have the 45-degree angles that add up to 90. And that diagonal is bisecting those angles. So it has the properties of a rhombus too. Does that make sense? The rhombus is basically where the diagonal is bisecting, but it's trying to show you in not so great of a way that it's bisecting 2 different degreed angles. Does that make sense? They're not the same. If they were the same, it would be a square. Good questions. Any other question? How about 9? Who's got 9? 54. Nice job. How about 10? Rhombus. Good job.
I'm telling you all my
We are pumped for Thursday. All right, real quick, did anybody not get the final exam review packet? I am double checking. Yeah, not right now. I'm gonna do this.
And it would be like, oh, and they would probably be like, they probably show a chart and be like, what happens when that is increasing? No, I said.
I did not do that.
You did it?
That was
I'm
bad.
blind. Guys, my
Yeah,
hands
yeah,
off.
Chad.
Should I?
When I went on
sign?
Where's your aim?
I can take my
Oh.
screen time.
Yeah, he doesn't know.
You're doing quite well there. I don't know.
What? Just give me that.
I make a good heart.
Because my
Cards
grade.
up.
It's not
Because I
okay.
had it.
Car. That's my son's first word. Car.
Usually Mr.
Really?
Smith.
It was.
Wow.
He was a little late talking,
You rhymed everything.
but all of a sudden sitting there and I said, come on, we gotta go. He goes, no, car. That's hard. Whoa.
And how did you not use the word
Car.
at all?
Car.
I was waiting
Car.
for you to say something.
Miss Smith, can I use my phone to take a picture of this?
You didn't take a picture of me?
Well, my screen time just went off, so
Your what?
my screen time. I couldn't take a picture because my camera has screen time on it until 8:45.
I don't remember.
What? You're joking.
No, because I had to see an ELA. But I got mad.
Oh, so she did that whole password thing on you? 8:45. 7:05 seems more acceptable.
I know. It's annoying. I was like, come on, just put it on for school.
Fine, and get it up. Hurry. It's supposed to be up already.
I'm sorry, it's true too.
What happened to last night? What time does it turn off? 3 o'clock?
I took pictures.
Yeah, you were absent. So I'm not going to give you the business, but she deserves the business. She had till 9 p.m. last night.
I'm sorry.
I even gave you time this morning. You could have talked to me about this morning. What happened?
I always do my homework before I go to bed.
And when I'm laying in bed, because that's.
I don't want to do my homework right after.
Convince your mom 7 o'clock.
Okay, I'll convince her.
Seriously, if she wants confirmation that I require some things to be turned in, that's fine. But knowing your mom, the smart lady she is, she's gonna be like, "Hey, you had until 9 p.m. last night. What happened?"
Probably will say that.
Oh my gosh, I've been flooded this week. As soon as this week is over, and I can't even guarantee this weekend because my birthday's on Sunday. And I plan to party. It'll be in, I promise. Just think of it this way: the worst thing that's gonna happen is that your grade is just gonna go up. It doesn't matter how many points I put in there. Till June, so that includes weekends. Crazy, isn't it? If you take out the weekends and spring break and everything, it's only it's way less than that.
It's like 100 days.
No, we haven't reached 100 days yet. Our 100-day mark comes second semester. First semester is shorter than second semester.
Wait,
If you
what?
physically count, first semester is shorter than second semester. Just when you start, and then we have Christmas break. Yeah. But we also have I think we also have more time off than second semester too. We get a week in January. We come back. We get Martin Luther King Day. Then we get the 19th off for President's Day in February. Then we have spring break. Yeah. Hey, I'm going on spring break. I get spring break too. And I just found out I'm going to Disney in July. I'm kind of excited. Because my father-in-law has a ton of points to use up, and he's not going to use them. So, haha, vacation. Free vacations. I love free vacations. Da, 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 da. Wait, I should just hit escape. Never mind. Oh, Sunday.